Hey, and welcome to Quilting with Don, the second episode of my Sealife art quilt. In this episode, full disclosure, no fabric has yet been harmed in the making of this quilt. I am still working on the design, but I thought I'd give you a quick update on where that design is because I think I'm almost ready to go to fabric, as they say. You see before me the fabrics I've narrowed down to, and you'll see them in the design in a moment. I've got stuff for the water, the octopus, the kelp, the lettering. So, things are coming together. But first, I'm going to show you something that has been happening in our local area. It's very cool. We have this place called Milner Gardens. It's a wonderful, large tract of land right on the water that has hosted the Queen and the King and princes. It's been around for over 100 years. There's this wonderful cottage that hosts royalty, but the gardens themselves are a stunning feature because they feature a lot of natural things for the West Coast. Not like Bouchard Gardens, if you've ever heard of that in Victoria, where there's a lot of flowers. This has flowers, it's Milner Gardens, but it really has more natural setting. You got some old growth forests, beautiful. And they hold events there every year. Every Christmas they have a Christmas light up and it's amazing. You walk through these trails in the forests. See if I can put together a video for you for this year because it's amazing. But what they just had was for Halloween, they had scarecrows. Okay, so they had this thing where organizations could decorate a scarecrow and compete. There were 20 scarecrows in this collection. And here's the fun part, why I'm telling you this, is that our Parksville Quilt House Quilters Guild produced or made, Melody Dixon is the lead agent for this, she made a quilty scarecrow. So here's a picture of it. Isn't that cool? You'll see the scarecrow has a quilted jacket, there's a sewing machine, even the scarecrow's foot is on the sewing pedal. Oh, you can't see it in the picture here. Brilliant. And we voted for our favorite, and of course we had to vote for that one. And here's another one, just to give you an idea. Here's also one of my favorites. There was put in by a tree service company. And what do you have? Logger scarecrows climbing a tree and doing what they do. So that was really cool too. All right. Now I'm going to talk about the design a bit here. And I really quickly, before I start showing it to you, I'm going to put on my techie geek hat. So if you don't want to hear techie stuff, skip forward now because this is going to be a little dry. But for doing the design, I did this all digitally using a combination of scanning fabrics. So I had a digital representation of the fabrics. Part of the geek part, I should mention that all the fabrics, when I scanned them, I ensured they come out in the image you're seeing as life size. So what you see for fabrics is what you should get, or what I see is what I should get. And then doing a lot of digital manipulation to get the effect I wanted. I use an open source program called GIMP, which stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. Yep, that's right. Anyway, this free manipulation free software is as powerful or very close to it as Photoshop, but it's free, so I like it. It just has a steep learning curve. So I use this software to produce what I'm going to show you next. Okay, now we get to the design and what it looks like. I used this fabric to create the backdrop for the entire quilt. So from now on, I'm going to show you the design as I build it. So here is the 3 foot here's a representation of the 3 foot by 2 foot quilt. This cloth is to scale, so what you're seeing is what it should look like in real life. Then that cute fabric I like that has coral on it, I thought would make a neat backing or ground sea bottom feature. So I layered that in. And then another fabric I liked reminded me of the reflections you see when you're in the water looking up, and you're under water and you're looking up and you see the surface. So here's the surface reflections fabric. And then I thought, well, I'll cut out some kelp to add an extra layer of dimension. So here's some kelp, all out of fabric. Finally, this, as I mentioned before in the first episode, a lot of it is all about showing the logo for the local dive shop, which is called Sink or Swim, that I help out at, and I love scuba diving. So I chose some colors for the fabrics and laid them into the design, and here it is. You'll see the octopus is made with a cool orange fabric, and his arms have the suckers are this neat textured blue fabric. I put an outline around the octopus to help it pop out from the background, and then the lettering for Sink or Swim Scuba ink is a very dark, almost black fabric with red dots. I love the texture on it. I thought it was really cool for lettering. So there's the basic design. Now we get to the cool light bulb moment, because I was trying to, and I do intend to put Sealife into this backdrop. And I was wrestling with finding designs I liked or that I could modify to use for cutting fabric and then doing applique fish, applique critters. Never was quite happy with what I could find. And then the light bulb came on, and I thought, I do a lot of underwater photography. Why don't I use some of my fish pictures? Hello. So I did. I manipulated the pictures to cut out the cool parts, and then I successfully layered them into the quilt. So here we go. Along the bottom, you see some really cool bottom sea life, some nudibranchs, some starfish, Atelia they call it, it's beautiful. Then, well, let's put some fish. And I layered across the top part 3 very cool fish you see in our area. There's a lingcod on the left, there is a tiger rockfish on the right, and then a head-on shot of a decorated war bonnet, which if you go to my diving videos, you'll see him once in a while. They're really cool. And then, how could I have a video without sea lions? Because they're in our area, so I put in a sea lion, hello. And then I put in our favorite wolf eel, Gramps. So there he is. This now is the design I'm aiming towards for the quilt. Isn't that cool? No fabric has been touched yet, as I said, in the sense, okay, I fondled it, I scanned it, but I haven't done any cutting. That's next. So stay tuned. This design may modify a bit more, but I think I'm at least 90% there. So we'll see where we go. Once I get my EQ Printables fabric, I'll start experimenting with printing and seeing how the Sealife comes out. And I'll start assembling this quilt. You guys have a great one. Cheers.